Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, guys. I want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as seasoned. I'm so grateful and thankful for you guys. So guys, it's been a couple of days, maybe a week. And I received some of your emails like, girl, where you at? Where you at? Right? And I know a lot of you are new here. I forgot to tell you guys that sometimes when I'm not posting for a while, there's a couple of things that could be going on. Either I have an assignment coming up, right? I'm gonna have an assignment coming up and I have to really discipline myself from social media or however way to, for I can be sure I'm getting my downloads for that particular assignment or that particular person. Sometimes I may be going through a fast. Or sometimes I'm just spiritually depleted. So I kind of had all of that going on in one. So speaking of fast, I know some of you are like, Lord, please don't let this be a conviction. Listen, I'm just the messenger, but I will say this here. If you are waiting for an answer, if you feel like you can't get a clear download and everything seems all humble jumbled and, your spirit and your mind, and you're just, there's no clear way for you to get a download, please go on the fast or ask God, ask the spirit to show you, how this fast should be or whatever. But if you are waiting for some type of download and it seems like you can't get your answer and you're just stuck, and you're stagnant, you may need to go on the fast, but the spirit will let you know. I tried to run from it for 2 weeks. And one thing I've learned by the fast, that when God is ready to call you on one, you cannot outrun it. You can't outrun it. It will literally keep finding you over and over until you finally just say, you know what? Okay, let me go on this fast. So, that. And then also, again, for like 1 or 2 days, I was very spiritually depleted. That could be for a different amount of reasons, but I just like to be sure that I'm spiritually filled. So when I do speak, it's spirit versus Kizzy. But I'm feeling so much better today, so much filled today. So I wanted to jump on with you guys and have a conversation that I was having with a gentleman on yesterday evening. And I figured I would just piggyback off of this topic. And since so many of us are going through this stage, which I want to talk about, which is the hidden season. The hidden season, the season in which God has literally, he's hid you. He's hid you, right? So it may seem like you're not even a part of the real world. That's what it may feel like. But truly what God is doing is he is truly transforming you totally. Where some seasons, you may have kind of got its and bits and pieces of, things worked on and so on. The hidden season, you're being transformed in its entirety. This is a very, 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 very difficult season. Mine is coming to a head. I can feel it. Again, when you're spiritually aligned, you can feel where you are. If you are very, very confused on what season you're in or what's going on, please ask the spirit to help you and guide you, because he will. But most importantly, again, it's important to be fasting during these seasons at times, because if you can't get clarity on where you are, it's easy to give up. It's easy to go back to, I forgot who it was. I think it was, well, I don't want to call the wrong person's name, but like a week or so ago, I commented on someone's recording, and basically, she was just talking about, again, the difficulty in the process. So I made a comment. I really thought I would have been the only one, who was feeling that way. So I made a comment and I said that, God is so strategic. Like, he knows his children. I'm convinced that God only shows us bits in pieces of destiny. Meaning, when you first heard that call and God said he has this destiny for you, right? He shows you bits and pieces of it. So all you see is this, oh my goodness, that's for me. So it's like, you're like, okay, God, I signed up. Where do I sign? I will answer the call, right? He shows you bits and pieces, because if he had shown you that entire process from the time you answer that call years ago, months ago, wherever you are, from the time you answer that call to the process of losing people, the process of isolation, the storms, the constant storms and battles that you will be in, getting through that transformation season, that hidden season, getting through all that stuff, attacks. Would you truly have answered that call if you saw, if you could see the whole process? And so I think so many people would have ran and hid behind trees. And oh my goodness, soon as I logged off of YouTube, I started getting all these notifications, and I couldn't believe how many people who were in this intense process was like, girl, listen, I tell people all the time, if I knew what I knew now, I would have never agreed. I would have never told God, yes, I accept. I would have never. And I was like, well, I'll be darned. I thought I was the only one feeling this way. And complete opposite. So many people felt that way, right? So let's make no mistakes about it. The rewards will be worth it. There's no question about that. The rewards will be worth it. So it's a matter of getting through that process. A lot of people abort and abandon the process the further you're in. Because the further you're in, it's more intense. So in the beginning, those seasons, God will start to be a little gentle with you because he knows, you're coming up. So you might just get hit with this or hit with that, hit with this, hit with that. But the further you get along, you talking about snatching edges and receding hairlines. The further you get along, the more intense it gets. So the gentleman and I were talking yesterday about, again, the hidden season. Personally, just me, I believe the hidden season is right after the isolation season and right before destiny. I believe that's why the hidden season is so difficult and so long, because the next season, where some of you are, and I really believe I am, because if you're spiritually aligned, you can tell where you are. So I feel that I can see the head of destiny. So I feel that hidden season, again, is right after isolation. And it almost kind of, I know some of you may feel like, well, the isolation season, right? I'm isolated, so wouldn't that be the same as hidden? No. Isolation means you're just isolated. God have snatched, people, things from you, or you're just kind of like wandering all alone. Many of my chosen ones, you wouldn't even have a problem being alone. Sometimes you prefer being alone anyway, right? So, but for those of you who you have a very, very difficult time being alone because you're so used to having people and relying on people, and you will have a difficult time that isolation season, a very difficult time. But it's important to know that even if you're alone, you should not be lonely, because your relationship, that intimate relationship with God in that isolation season, should cover you like a blanket, that you don't even feel alone. So the isolation season, God just done snatch you and throw you in isolation. A lot of times in the isolation season, you get like downloads and things that God, he'll tell you what he wants to start working on. He'll start giving you downloads because you're isolated. If you're isolated, you can hear better. You can hear better spiritually because you don't have a lot of things and a lot of people pulling at you. So he's telling you what he wants to address. So it's almost like he's giving you a preview before the hidden season. The hidden season is difficult. And again, this is where a lot of people lose it and abort it and go back. Because now in the hidden season, the things that he downloaded to you in the isolation season is now going to be processed. What happens before process? Acknowledgement. So he will start to, again, have you acknowledged the things he's shown you in the isolation season, right? Crazy part about it, just we laughed so hard with this last night. The crazy part about it, God will show you things that you never deemed to be a problem. You thought it was normal. You thought you had forgiven this person. You really thought that because you didn't think about them, for a long time. But God will show you your heart for real, because in the hidden season, again, that came after the isolation season, and again, that is right before destiny, nothing can be swept under the rug any longer. Unforgiveness, trauma issues, trauma triggers, addiction of any sorts, drugs, cigarettes, alcohol, sweets, food, porn, any addiction, because sometimes people just want to really judge like the heroin addict or the meth. Listen, you can't be judging anybody if you got a porn addiction, a sugar addiction, a food addiction. Please stop judging people who have addictions on the corner because theirs happen to be crack or meth when you struggle with addiction yourself. Addiction is the thing you use to give you the comfort feeling of a void. So if you have a void of being abandoned, a void of being rejection, a void of being whatever, I'm sure you guys get the point. It's that hole. It's that missing piece. You feel like you're missing something. So you're using food, you're using this, you're using that to fill that void. And the truth of the matter is the only thing that can fill that void is the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. So now all this stuff can no longer be swept. I keep having flashbacks about conversation last night. I'm sorry. What I was about to say was these things nothing can be swept under the rug any longer. And so he said, that's why I laughed just now. He said, listen, I got so much stuff that the rug I can't even sweep it under the rug if I want to. It's too much stuff. And I was like, that's real. I respect that. Because people will walk around here like they're perfect and they got it all together and they got the most skeletons in the closet. But the point is, you can no longer sweep things under the rug. These things will have to be acknowledged, then processed. And guess what? The one thing that you use to mask the pain, let's just say it's weed for you. And please don't email me about weed is not a drug. I'm not even talking about that. I don't smoke. I don't care if you do. That's your problem. I don't care if it's a drug or not. I'm just using it as an excuse. I'm using it as an example. So let's just say weed is your thing, right? All right. So let's also say that you were someone who dealt with abandonment issues because maybe you were given up for adoption. That's not everybody. But so now every time you feel that little void and that little emptiness when you have a trauma trigger about rejection, now you smoke more and more weed that day. Well, guess what's going to happen? You're going to still have to face that pain and that void of that rejection or whatever you got going on. And guess what's going to happen? You can't even smoke your weed to do it because that's masking it. So you're going to have to face these demons head on with no more masking. That's the only way you're going to be able to process it. This is why, and I'm guilty of this, and you don't even realize it sometimes. This is why you think you have already forgiven someone or you think you've already moved on from this. But then when you see them or something happens and you get triggered, that's how you know it hasn't even been fully processed and out of your spirit yet. You should be able to see this person and be like, okay, I'll never deal with you again, but I don't want to bust your head either no more, right? And just go on with life and truly be like, God, I wish them well. Truly, I don't wish any harm on them. I wish them well, and hopefully they turn their life to you and they make it into heaven, whatever. But you wouldn't feel that trigger if you've truly processed. So in this hidden season, God will make you see some things you didn't even know still existed, things that you don't even see as wrong, or you never thought they were wrong, but he will expose it to you so you can process it and it can leave your spirit. Because remember, what's next? Destiny. This stuff can't go in destiny with you. This is no longer you. All this trauma stuff and all these trauma triggers and unforgiveness, that's from the old you season, the do-it-yourself season, when you did everything yourself without God. So that stuff can't go, because your next season has nothing to do with your old season, your old self. So all this stuff have to be faced head on, processed. And this is why this process takes so much longer. This is why the process of the hidden season is so intense and many people turn back. Do you know how many people can't face their traumas? This is why people avoid therapy. This is why when you have people and you're truly trying to pour into them or get them to open up, they can't do it. Trauma is excruciating. Healing hurts. This is why most people won't do it. They'd rather be addicted to their food or whatever their thing is versus going back to that place, facing it head on, and letting God process it and leave their spirit. So it's no more triggers. So now when God have you in destiny and someone says something to you, you on the stage somewhere, or you're whatever you got going on, or you may now be in the kingdom marriage and somebody says something to you that has nothing to do with how you see it, but it trigger you because you never dealt with it prior in the hidden season. What's going to happen? You're going to make a fool of yourself. You're going to lose every single thing that you went through this long behind process for, because you didn't allow God to transform you in its entirety in that hidden season. It's also difficult because we feel like we're ready. See, God done did so much work on you in the isolation season, and even, in the middle of the hidden season, and even in the, the beginning of the hidden season as well as the middle. So you feel like, okay, I'm ready now. I went through all this hell. I'm ready now. And so now you're stuck again. You feel like, well, I've been in the hidden season. I've passed every test. I've been obedient. Speaking of obedience is key. It doesn't matter how hard it is. It doesn't matter what he says. You better do it. God had me to go back and bless some people. Listen. Whew. God had me to go back and bless some people that I probably debated with him 2 days about. 2 days I debated about going back to bless these people. Tried to ignore it, thought, nope, Satan, that's you. That ain't God. God would not tell me to go back. But he's testing your obedience. So your pride is going to have to go aside. You're going to have to understand that you're going to be called to do certain things that your flesh is going to say, hell no. But when you get that conviction to do what God is asking you to do, please do it. Please do it, because you are going to hold up your season for 29 years. So how I see it is, listen. Whew. All right. If this is what it takes for me to prove to you that I'm obedient. And sometimes I'm going to tell you too now, sometimes what that is showing God is, if he can ask you to go back to help someone who you have no desire to ever see again, but he asks you to do it and you do it, what you're showing him is this. When you open the door to destiny, I'm faithful enough to do whatever it is you ask me to do. So you're proving yourself now. But if you're saying, nope, I'm not having that conversation with my ex-husband. Nope, I'm not forgiving that child molester. Nope, I'm not. Well, you're showing him that if he was to open that door tomorrow to destiny, that he can't use you in every area. If he can't use you here, why would he advance you here? It makes no sense. So he's going to let you stay right there in that hidden season until either you agree or you decide to abort it and go back. That's up to you. Many are called, few are chosen. That's why, because it's no joke. It's no joke. Even for, I was telling Pastor Blakes this, Pastor R.C. Blakes this last week in our Malachi mission meeting. Listen, this thing ain't for the faint at heart. This thing ain't for the faint at heart. If you've answered that call because God have shown you how big your destiny is, if you've answered that call and you are in this process, you know you can be one of the most strongest people on the face of this planet. You know this thing is not for the faint at heart. This is why the majority of the people do not arrive to destiny, because it is no joke. So again, it's about how bad do you want it? So I love how God shows us bits and pieces of it, right? Because he saved the rest of it for now. So you're in this hidden season. He's about to reveal you your purpose. So guess what? That little bit or that a lot of bit that he didn't show you, he saved it for now. Because this season, the hidden season, is way more difficult than any other season. So now he's showing you all of it. Maybe not all, but he's showing you a lot of it. So that motivates you through this very difficult season. That motivates you further to not give up. It's frustrating because it seems so close. It literally feels like you can touch. It seems like you can put your hands out and touch it, but yet it's still so far. But you know it's there. You just don't know when, but you know it's there. So that alone keeps you motivated. That alone keeps you not going back. Like your mind is made up. You've seen what God had for you. You've seen the healthy marriage. You've seen the business taking off. You've seen purpose. You've seen how you will affect the world. You've seen the millions of dollars that you can go and take care of the elderly and have prescription plans, free prescription plans for the elderly and the mental. Well, those are my plans. Those are some of the things I want to do. Like I literally have, I know for a fact, there's a lot of things I want to do, but one thing that I really, really want to do is create a plan that all elderly people can get their prescriptions filled for free, literally. And of course, you got to have some things in place because, you know, the crackhead sons or the crackhead daughters might come in there stealing certain pills. All that will work itself out, but that's one of my plans. So anyway, you've seen all the stuff that God have told you he's going to allow your hands to affect. How could you go back? How could you go back? Back is not even, that's not even an option. That's not even an option. Because I when I was back there, I didn't even know all of this in destiny existed. So I ain't going back there. So because he's shown you the majority of it now in the hidden season, there's no way you can go back. So all you can do is stand. But please make sure that you understand that obedience is the only thing that's going to process you along through this process of the hidden season. There's no other option. There is no other option. Whatever you're refusing to be obedient to is the very thing that's keeping you stuck. The very thing that is not allowing you to see how close you are to that door opening. Obedience is key. If it doesn't make any sense, do it. If it hurts, do it. If it means you got to put your pride aside, do it. If it means you feel like a fool doing it, do it. Just do it. Because when that door opens and you're now out that hidden season and these people see the light, the favor, the blessings, the success in every single thing you touch, you're not going to be worried about them. You're not going to be worried about, oh, I had to go back and make amends with somebody who, you're not going to be worried about them. You're not going to be worried about them people. These people are not going to be on a search to try to even get to you. And they can't even get to you because you got 50,000 bodyguards like Oprah. They can't even get to you. Don't even worry about that. Just complete what God is asking you to do, because it has nothing to do with the people. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with you proving to God that whatever he asks you to do in your season of destiny, your season of abundance, your forever season, whatever we want to call it, it is proving to him that when you get there, you will not forget him, and that any single thing he's asked you to do, with everything he's blessed you with, he can trust you to do it. If he can't trust you to go and plant $100 seed in the person who broke your heart, I'm just saying, who broke your heart, if he can't trust you to do that, how do you want him to believe that when he trusts you with $1 million, that you will plant 10,000 in the orphanage? This is not about the person or the people. Screw people. Screw people. The further you go, you will see so many things. You will understand that the majority of the people who hurt you had no intentions on hurting you, but they were hurting themselves. They were hurting. So think about it. You had to go through processing. They didn't go through processing. So the further you go, you will see things for what it really is. And you will learn. That's why forgiveness will be much more easier now, because it's like, that person, well, goodness gracious, now that I can see it more clearly, that person's really messed up. Oh, I just wish they can be able to find a way to process, like you'll start feeling sorry for people. You'll stop hating people and feel sorry for them. But just don't worry about people. If God says go and forgive, if God says go and bless, if God says just do it. Just do it. But at the end of the day, once you've done all that, because you'll feel like, okay, I passed my hidden test. I've stayed in the house. I turned down every temptation. I did this. I did that. God, I did everything you've asked me to do. Every single thing. Now what? Just stand. Again, if you're spiritually connected, you can feel this spiritual shift clear as day. And those of you who have endured this very, 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 all caps, very difficult, edge-snatching, receding hairline season, you will reap way more rewards and blessings than you even know. So I hope this helps anyone, someone. Please don't give up. I keep getting those messages. Please don't give up. I know you're tired. I get it. I promise you. You're not the only one that's tired. Anyone who have refused to give up on destiny has had to crawl, have had sunk in places where they couldn't get out of bed. Trust me when I tell you. They may not tell you, but please don't give up. You guys have a great one.